Hey, it's Walt with One Fall WrestleCast. Um, Tom and I are here. We're not quite sure where our little friend is, but maybe he'll wander in. But regardless, we'll get to play our game. And
Good game.
we did some stuff this week. Tom and I are going to talk about it with or without our little friend. Bray Wyatt has made his return to WWE television and apparently has a new faction. I can't wait to dive in on this with Tom. It's going to be interesting. I really, really feel that way. And apparently, you can become a front office employee in AEW after you punch a motherfucker in the mouth. We got a lot to talk about.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Nice.
I'm here.
Nice. Man, I like that. I like that so much.
So that was the ooh. I had to.
Ooh. Okay,
I
that's
had
cool.
to run for that. That was the payoff to that.
I liked it a lot. That was good. That was real good. And I like that you have the lights like all just like up in your shit there.
Yeah, I had to get that going again there, So, week 1 of Where the Fuck is Derek?
Man, I can't believe it took us this long to get to this point.
Yeah, right? But you know what? It's gratifying.
I mean, so many weeks in a row, like we got no Derek. And like, or not no Derek, but he would be late.
And we decided we were going to play this game.
Yeah, and then
he's literally been on time every week since we decided we were going to play this game.
He became Johnny on the spot, for 2 whole months. As far as Derek is concerned, he's not seen shit about shit since 4:12 p.m. I'm saying
yes.
he's not coming.
Yes. I saw that, and I sent him 3 individual text messages as well. So, is that your bet? He's not coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna start the week. I'm gonna start the game off with a big one. We're gonna go big. I'm gonna say Derek's not coming.
So you're gonna say that Derek is a no-show.
I'm gonna say no show. No call, no show. That's Derek. It's my call.
So then I guess we're gonna have to create a automatic rule to that, and that's if he does show, I win.
Yes, absolutely. If he shows at all, you win.
Okay, so then one of us next week will be holding the Where the Fuck is Derek championship belt.
Okay, that's fair. That's good. I like that.
We just don't know which one it is.
That's okay. Well, just one of us is going to need to make it to Walmart or Target and get a belt, depending on who wins. But we'll know that in a matter of an hour and a half or so.
Yeah, and then he'll never even know one of us is going to show up with and he's just not even going to know.
No, he's going to have no idea. Well, you and I'll have to discuss offline which one we should try to get. I guess a lot of it probably depends on what's in stock.
What's available. I mean,
we probably just do it on Amazon. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you could just get the AEW toy belt, like that would be like
okay.
That would be incredible.
I think I'm just gonna buy. Oh, you win.
Shh. He was definitely sleeping. Look at that mug.
How was that 4-hour nap, buddy?
It was good. It was wonderful.
Your wife lets you sleep for that long?
I mean,
good Christ. Dude, so
she's a very lovely lady.
She must be. I sleep for 20 minutes. My wife comes up and looks at me and goes, "Oh, you taking a nap?" I was.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
And then she comes back and like wants to tell me about things, and I'm like, babe, that sounds great. It does.
Not today.
That
Not
sounds
right
great.
now.
Can I had 45 minutes. Can I have my last 15?
Yeah,
Please?
right.
The last 15. I know it's been 30.
It's amazing. So I don't go into work until later on Saturdays, and it's really interesting because I am who I am, right? Like I'm up until 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You guys know that. Like I'm sure you both wake up to messages upon messages of wrestling rumors and horse shit.
I appreciate that we're asleep.
Yes,
But,
yes,
yeah.
and I appreciate that you both have sense enough to have your phones either turned off or away from you.
It's just not I don't want it in my room. I'm sleeping in there.
I know that about both of you, so that it makes it very good for me to just be able to shoot it off.
Yeah,
right.
Go fucking nuts. Yeah, I'm out in the room. The phone's in another room.
Life is great in that aspect, right?
Nuts.
So, but my wife will always let me sleep a little bit later on Saturday. Maybe till like 10 or 11 o'clock, because generally I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I'm awake until 3 or 4 o'clock, I go to sleep, and I wake up and start all over again. So I run on 4 or 5 hours of sleep every single day, right? So, but I've come to appreciate that my wife needs a midday nap on Saturdays, and I am just 9.5 times out of 10 just super happy to let her have that. Just because like it's a little bit of just before work, you know what I mean? Like just kind of get to collect myself right before I leave to go to work. It's awesome. Hey, Derek. Welcome back. So here's the thing. So in the show intro, I was letting everybody know that we did a thing this week, huh? Why don't you tell everybody what happened?
Yeah, well, we did some stuff. We actually guested, I guess. I don't know what the proper term.
We guest starred.
We guest starred. We were a guest. Yes.
Yeah, we were a guest.
We were in the guest credits with the special thanks to section of one of my buddies, Kellen, his wrestling podcast, WrestleCast Power Hour.
It's the Rasslecast Power Hour. And if I'm being honest, if you have not gone and checked the show out, please go do so.
Holy crap, is it funny?
Man, I had a great time.
Holy crap,
that was really funny.
I do have a story that I need to tell, but we will talk about that here in a minute. But
if you are blessed with Wrestle McWrestleface making an appearance on an episode that you listen to, it is well worth it.
I laughed so hard.
At one point, Tom didn't think he was going to be able to continue.
I did literally so I woke up the next day almost like I only had like a couple beers, and so it's like it wasn't a like Tom drank too much and forgot. Like no, like I laughed so hard. Like I just remember laughing and like my abs actually kind of still a little sore from all the laughing. It was so funny. I didn't know that I was going to be able to make
their
it.
structure kind of kept us, reeled in a little bit. Which
a little bit at bay, but it also because I was laughing so hard, I had no chance to throw them off. I could not.
I really like their vibe though, like the three of them, and I guess they're interchangeable. If I've done enough on that they're kind of interchangeable, they could be three different guys or whatever. I really like their vibe though. I really like what their show was all about, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I was on another planet, but I had a really
that's why I wore my Pizza Planet
job
shirt
doing it.
That's why I wore my Pizza Planet shirt, because we were talking about planets and pizza didn't bring you back, so Pizza Planet.
Yeah, I was on a fucking other planet on Friday night. So what had happened was, so we do the show, right? And we're doing the outro, and we're sitting there, and it's like, okay, guys, well, we're gonna, record another episode, blah 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 blah, right? Their whole shtick. Everybody's like, cool, bye. I didn't know how to get out.
Well, we'll stop.
Okay, I didn't know how to get out, and so I'm confused as a motherfucker.
We haven't heard this, by the way.
And no bullshit. No,
you didn't think of the X button in the corner?
But I didn't know how to get out. Listen,
Or you meant like a politely excuse yourself from the situation?
No, Derek, when I tell you that I was on another planet, I was on another fucking planet. Okay?
You know, in the mimes in the box, that's
Like,
where Walt was. He was
so
like,
the way that it happened, okay? They said bye to you guys, and I couldn't get out. And I said, you know, and it was very much like, bye. Like, I couldn't get out. And then somebody goes, well, I said, I don't know how to get out of here. And somebody goes, well, that's because you're not in control. Like you're used to being. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Right? I'm like, yo, are they holding me hostage? Do they want me to keep being on their show? I don't want to be on their show without my friends. I'm on another fucking planet.
Come back. You're like, Walt's like, come back. Tom, Derek, come back.
I'm like,
back. I'm lost. Guys, I'm lost.
I'm like, hey guys, I'm not doing this without my buddies. No. And then the same voice that said, it's because you're not in control, says, you can hit the leave button. And I'm like, oh, there's a leave button in the corner I didn't know was there. I thought they took me hostage.
Your soul was theirs.
Walt was abducted.
Walt's now part of the Rasslecast power
The
hour. He's no
Rasslecast
longer part of us.
abducted Walt's soul because they stole his leave button. That's hilarious. I kind of noticed
funny at the time.
I noticed you were being particularly quiet for Walt standards, and I was like, Walt usually corrects me at this point. Like, why is Walt not corrected me now? You're just like, I was like, Walt seems like he's having a good time. I was having a good time. I was laughing real hard. That's what this meant. It was.
You were not gone enough though to immediately shut down my deathmatch wrestling bullshit.
That was so stupid. I can't believe it. It was so bad.
Hey, this coming from the guy that said that Jim Cornette deserves to be number 2 on a list of 3.
He does. Nobody fought me on that.
Paul Heyman. I 1000% fought you on that.
You did not.
I did.
I listened to it today.
I said, excuse me, sir, how dare you disrespect our hosts by saying that you would put Jim Cornette above Paul Heyman on a list of managers.
How is that disrespecting the hosts? Jim Cornette drew more money.
You're a liar.
Jim Cornette drew more money.
You're a liar.
All right, but Jim Cornette still drew more money.
Motherfucker. Bro, like I hit the Jim Cornette after the Wrestle McWrestle face, and it was just instinctual, right? I never felt so bad in my entire life. Like, hey man, I stole your gimmick. I'm sorry.
No, Wrestle McWrestle face was like,
oh, it was fantastic.
Oh my god, I can't even describe what that. Whatever it was, I was.
It's podcast gold.
You have to go check it out. Like
yes.
our listeners have to go check it out for themselves. Well, can we link that in a description?
I will make sure that they are in the description.
Oh my god, when it starts, it's just like first you're gonna be in awe. You're gonna be like, you're gonna laugh, and you're gonna be like, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to miss this. I don't want to laugh. I don't want to miss this. It's oh my god, it's so
and I thought
good.
we did a really, really good job interweaving all 6 of us.
Oh my god, it was like that was. I don't know if they want to be friends with me, but like, can they all be my best friends now? Like, I want more best friends. Can they?
I think I'd like to bring them on here. I know we talked off air about maybe doing our annual Royal Rumble watch along with them. So I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we did.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where that goes.
Good idea.
Hey Derek, did you hear this? Did you hear what's going on? Did you talk to Tony today?
Tony Khan? Oh yeah. Did you talk to Tony?
No, actually, I was on my lawnmower. I changed the brakes on my car.
I love that you have like an Afghan. It's not even a blanket. You have like an Afghan.
Well, Sonny, back in my day.
Who knitted that for you? Did your grandma say, look at it, look at it?
I used to have to walk 15 miles.
1.5 candies got there.
I have no idea.
Derek's
what
going to be the
ancient family
grandfather
ever
when he
made
sits
this,
when he
but-
sits
Derek,
down with the grandkids, and he's going to go, "Hey, you little fuckers, you want to get high?"
Go get Grandpa his blanket.
I'm just waiting on my shit to kick in. I took a nice big old scoop of some stuff before I'll be ready here in a minute.
Goop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so you
it's
definitely
more of a-
were hanging out with Tony Khan then? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
And-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why I was
Tony
late.
Khan.
So, Derek,
What'd he
did you
do?
know that you can get promoted in AEW for punching a motherfucker in the face?
Andrade got promoted?
No, CM Punk got promoted.
Previous face puncher. Previous.
Promoted?
Apparently, he's a front office employee.
Are you guys fucking with me?
No,
sir.
no, buddy. I wish we were fucking with you. I really do. I really wish we were fucking with you.
Is he gonna wrestle anymore? Is this,
Nobody knows. He's suspended.
He's
so
suspended.
this is
and
how
hurt.
we get him out of the ring, and maybe
He's
just
so hurt.
go over here and just wait out your contract by being an executive.
I mean, maybe we don't have a lot of information, but
I don't know. I
what
have
we
to
were.
talk to Tony and find out. what's
TK
going on
kind of
here.
slid it in on an interview that he was doing. He said something to the effect of, "Well, we've got a lot of smart guys in our office. We've got guys that have experience and have been a part of things. And I'm talking about Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and you got CM Punk there too." So he just kind of slid it in just a little bit. Now, again, I'm Walter phrasing, but that is essentially what was said. So it sounds to me like previously to the All Out incident, they had maybe talked about making CM Punk an office guy, maybe an EVP, considering Cody Rhodes is gone. Maybe this is just deflection on Tony Khan's part to kind of get away from all of the CM Punk questions about his suspension and how long that's going to be and what a buyout looks like. I mean, Tony Khan is a notorious ghost. I mean, I'm sure that people that are really good at ghosting folks are great at deflecting their questions and problems onto other things. But this is kind of interesting news that all of a sudden, out of the blue, with ever not hearing this before, CM Punk is a office employee at AEW. Gentlemen, I would love to get your opinion on this, Tom, specifically, because Derek, I obviously just blew his fucking mind. So let's get into it.
So I can go first then? Let's let Derek process. Okay, so
Yes, please.
this is to me the Tony Khan is a coward and doesn't want to fire anybody. His thought of having to fire CM Punk, especially after, which I'm sure he figured out, not that he wanted to fire any of these guys, but like I would bet Kenny and the Bucks have pissed him off over the last 3 years. But when he found out,
punished him. Or he punished them.
Yes, for sure. So he punished them and he's ghosted them. But I would imagine CM Punk is probably somewhat of a hero to him. Somewhat of a like. Could you punish The Rock? Could you be me? Could you fire The Rock? I don't know that I could. I mean, I'm a dick. I'm more of a dick maybe than Tony is, and I do way less cocaine than he does. I know that for sure. But I think that's where we are right now, is like Tony's like, how do I fire my favorite person ever? I love this man. And I think he and Tony and Punk probably have a fantastic relationship, because Tony does what Punk wants, right? Fawns all over him, immediately gave him everything. Oh my God, you can be in a feud with MJF. Oh, now you're the star. You can beat Moxley. Oh God, you can beat Moxley again. John, just lay down for him. Literally the guy that like carries the fucking company on his shoulders. Like John, just lay down for him again. It'll be fine. 1, 2, 3.
Why does it sound like he's got a touch of Michael Jackson in his voice?
He.
Well, I mean, because my kids are going to sleep. I'm trying not to so it's either Michael Jackson or like fucking cocaine. Like there's really no in between. So for me, it's really we're giving him the Michael Jackson voice tonight. And I feel like that's maybe how he talks to these guys. It's very like non-threatening.
Because he's soft as puppy shit, pal.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at with my voice. Soft as puppy shit. So no, I think that he is absolutely trying to make he's trying to make dog salad out of dog shit. I think that's
Yeah.
maybe where we're going.
But hey, man, I mean, this seems like an awful weird way to like enforce a punishment that you've levied on somebody.
Seems not punishment because so I am of this thought right now is that everybody, one, I'm right that everybody's hurt. Two, everybody also did fight hurt. They had a cripple fight. Out of South Park, they had a cripple fight.
Shit.
And three, Tony is just really hoping that everybody goes and rehabs their injuries and comes back and can make nice and he can sweep it under the rug and move on. And I think that's what he wants. He's so happy to pay all these guys to go not be hurt anymore, whether it takes 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever. Go do that and then come back. Let's have a meeting. Everybody apologize. Everybody fuck off, and nobody gets to be in a program together. And also, everybody has to play nice. Go back to work now because I own you. Maybe. I don't know if he'll say it that way. I would like to see all of them back. Honestly, I would like to see all of them in a feud, and I would love to see that all break down on live chat. Like, just as somebody who loves to watch like fucking train wrecks happen, I would love to see all of that happen on live television. I don't know that we'll get that per se.
Why wouldn't
but
we?
I don't think we will. I mean, I would like it, but
Why do you think that that's punishment to not let those guys make money?
I mean, what?
Maybe he makes them work for free.
No, I
will
mean,
not pay.
No. What I mean
You
is
must
like
go
it break down on live television.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, but I'm
like
just saying,
they have an actual fist fight on TV
Yeah,
as opposed to in a locker room where there aren't cameras.
a la Matt Hardy and Edge at SummerSlam.
Exactly.
Fucking.
Well, the difference
potato
between
fest
that
over
and
there,
this,
pal.
though, is they had enough respect for Vince McMahon and knew better than to go out there and actually,
No, they didn't.
make a scene of it, even
Yeah,
though
they
we all
did.
knew that
Because they knew that Vince would fire them. These guys,
Exactly.
Derek,
No one
what you're
fears
alluding to is the
Tony.
fact that these guys will go out here and beat the ever-loving fuck out of each other on live television because they don't give a fuck what Tony Khan has to think. Because allegedly, a friend of mine told me that the only thing Tony Khan can punish is his dick in his bedroom at night.
I've heard this.
That was the best quote of that show, actually.
I tried to set you up for it like 33 times because you said you wanted to that you were going to steal it and you didn't take it, so I had to put it out there.
I didn't want to do. I didn't want to disrespect the joke.
I was very thrown off by that. Whenever that popped out.
Oh my god,
bro!
Stop
the whole fucking. Stop the whole show.
That's what threw everything off the rails. That was actually like I feel like I started laughing right there. And I never really recovered.
That was a great ice-breaking comment, though. Got
I never
settled in.
Except I never recovered from that. I don't think. I feel like that was. I didn't recover until I had to put Bayley over. And
what a fucking train wreck! What a train wreck this AEW thing is, bro. Like Derek, there's no way you can sit here and defend this.
I feel like Derek's been saying that though for a couple weeks. Like he can't even defend it. Like he's even like they've even lost him of all people.
I've basically just come to the realization that I'm gonna tune in, and we're gonna see what actually makes television, and hopefully the people that I really don't want to see fight end up getting in a real fight backstage. So they can get sent home, so I don't actually have to see that match.
Sammy Guevara and Andrade El Idolo, huh? Yeah, so what kind of fucking happy horseshit is this?
How does Sammy get in like 2 fights in less than 90 days?
It's because he's, as Derek put it on Friday, he's insufferable.
Yes, but how have they not figured out that the common denominator and all of this is Sammy Guevara? Like
because Tony Khan's low key running a softcore porn thing every time him and Tay come out on fucking TV.
It's really creepy. Like it's enough.
It's overboard.
Am I just sensitive to this, or like
No, it's way overboard.
Yeah,
it's way over.
Listen, I love my wife. I love my wife, and I love kissing my wife and hugging my wife. But I'm not trying to do that shit every 22 seconds. Okay.
Nor am I trying to do it
is she
on live television in the middle of a wrestling ring that has like bloodstains on it.
Heat. It's cheap heat, but the problem with it is like we're fucking tired of seeing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not like it's good heat. It's fucking
it sucks
go away.
to talk about it in the level of like it being X-Pac heat because like it's not the same. It's like this is worse than that. Like people were like sick of X-Pac's like I don't know what you even want to say, like the
antics.
They were sick of his antics, but like this is like X-Pac. Like if you were to imagine if you were to just give X-Pac a girl, and like X-Pac's antics plus like let him make out with a girl sometimes, like it would have.
He did that on the internet. He just didn't do it on.
Right,
he did it on the internet whenever like the internet was.
But they're putting it on TV.
Right, but
that's the thing.
TV is the internet now, pal. So like it's kind of the same thing, but not really.
It's not.
Hey, we're getting close to 9 o'clock, Tom here, Derek. So it's about to get rowdy because that's why. But hey, but for real though, you're absolutely right. Like it is on TV and it's fucking annoying. And like I don't give a shit about the fact that they're married and they're happy and whatever. Good for them. But like for fuck's sake, man, okay, it's overboard. It's too much. It's too much.
Also, why have we been so invested in Sammy Guevara's love life? Because if you'll remember correctly, it was not quite a year ago that he proposed to another woman in the middle of the AEW ring. It was November.
The worst part is he hated. He was a bully to the haters about everybody that was like, oh, you're too good for her and this and that and the other. And then all of a sudden it looks like it just clicked and he's like, oh yeah, man, you're absolutely right. I could fucking, and I think that's like the perception that everybody has now of him as a human being. And that's where this go away heat comes from. Is the fact that he stood up for Pam, his fiance at the time, and the fact that she wasn't Ty Conti, right? Like,
right.
And then all of a sudden turns around and he's like, nah, this is a thing. And I don't know, man. Like maybe that's where this go away heat comes from. But the problem here is, Derek, right? That just 3 short years ago, Sammy Guevara was like the most important piece of the AEW puzzle.
Yeah, maybe 2.5. Maybe because when he came out with the panda head on, he was okay.
Like we'll call it 2.5.
Yeah,
but he was like one of the most important building blocks in AEW.
Well, they called him a pillar. He was a pillar.
They did.
And then now they don't know what to do with him because he's got all of this fucking fan hate. Like, for fuck's sake, the AEW audience doesn't give 2 shits about Andrade. But yet here they are while Sammy Guevara is out there on Wednesday Night Dynamite chanting, fuck you, Sammy. And they're chanting, Idolo, Idolo, Idolo. Like,
he's my new favorite wrestler. My new favorite wrestler is whoever most recently punched Sammy Guevara.
That's how you get over in AEW.
Yeah,
you gotta punch Sammy Guevara in the face.
So here's my big question on this whole drama thing between Sammy Guevara and Andrade, right? Andrade got sent home.
Yeah.
And Sammy got featured in the main event.
Yeah, he did. So do you want to take
that's the Chris Jericho magic right there?
Wow. Yeah, that's Derek, why do you get right to the point? You have to like dance around the point before you like stomp on it and have a little jig. So the dirt sheets. Let's talk about them dirt sheets because the dirt sheets were like, oh, Andrade must have been the aggressor. By the dirt sheets, I mean like Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. Andrade, Mark. God, they're like the worst AEW. Like, one, the WWE lies to them and they report it, and 2, AEW tells them the truth and like they just feed them stuff, but they're such like, oh god, I don't want to see them fail. I don't want to see them fail either, but when like I can see obvious failure, it's like you have to report on the failure. So anyway, they're like, oh, well, that tells you something. If Andrade was sent home and Sammy, I can't imagine they wouldn't have sent them both home if it wasn't a real fight. And I'm just like, are you guys fucking kidding me here? Like, what are we talking about? Like, how is this like the thing? How is that the like what we're talking about? Is it's like, oh, obviously because one guy got sent home and the other guy got to main event. Like, obviously the other guy was the aggressor, and Andrade's trying to get fired. I mean, is Andrade trying to get fired? Maybe, because maybe he's realized that this is some kind of like dog and pony show. This is some kind of bullshit outlaw mud show wrestling. And, you know, now that Cody's gone, particularly now that Cody's gone, like there's this like extra outlaw mud show bullshit part of it. Cause like Cody was sort of the like traditional guy, although like Cody fucked that up too. But it's just it's too much at this point, right? Like it's so like, oh well, Andrade failed to get over. It's like he failed to get over. He's literally he gets chance every time he gets out. He's been used. He was used better in NXT. He was used.
Absolutely, I talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
He was used better. God, at this point, he was used better in WWE. He just wasn't really happy with like being in the U.S. title picture. But like, this is worse than that, right? Yeah. Like he thought like because he came off the top and was just like, you know, they put him in, and then he was like in a little faction with like, you know, he was put in a little faction with like Los Lotharios, who weren't Los Lotharios at the time. Now we're just like, you know, now he just kind of meanders through, and he like comes in, and it's like, oh well, you'll just be Big Money Matt. It's like Big Money Matt has never got over anywhere, let alone on a mainstream TV thing. And it's like, oh, now it's Andrade.
Hey man, he got to work with Sting, bro. Like
he did get to work with. Look, I think that's one of the things that like kept him around, right? It's like, well, you can work Sting, and he's like, fuck yeah, that's cool. Like, because it's cool. Like if they tell you, hey man, you want to have a match?
Remember whenever Sting came back and you and I sat here and just shit all over it. And
I mean, it's still
the
not
greatest fucking thing ever.
It's been the best thing in AEW. I don't know that it's been the greatest thing ever.
I mean, just him in general at 62 years old, still able to go out there and just deliver bangers, bro. Like some of the things that he's doing, I never in a million years. I sit here, I'll eat crow all fucking day on that one, bro.
No, you're right. I didn't think it was going to be when he took that dive in Pittsburgh while we were there. I was like, what is going on right now?
Derek was sitting right there. He knew. He knows. He was.
Derek
right
was. He was.
I was right there with him.
He was on Sting's shoulders, going, "Jump."
But yeah, that was crazy. But no, you're right. I mean, this is the send off, you know, that maybe Sting deserved in WWE, where like, you know, he met an unfortunate injury.
I was gonna say you mean to tell me that a buckle bomb into retirement isn't a fucking proper send off?
You know, it kind of is, I think, but at the same time, like, you know, I feel like he had.
And listen, I don't blame that on Seth at all. Like,
no, I don't either. Neither did Sting.
I mean, you see it 1,000 times. Like, the move is executed perfectly.
Yeah, it just you know, it's wrestling. It's sometimes shit goes wrong.
One of those things. But anyways, Tom, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Circle back on Andrade.
So with Andrade, I feel like they've just sort of buried him. This is kind of the theme of AEW, right? Is that, like, you know, Tony gets a new toy, plays with the new toy, doesn't know what to do with the new toy after the like big like this is new, and then he gets other new toys and he forgets about the old toys. And at this point,
what's going to happen when Adam Cole comes back? Like, you want to talk about a new toy? Like, what's going to happen when Cole comes back?
I have no idea. Either Adam,
so much
Adam Cole's gonna
for them, but now I'm just like, I'm worried for him to come back.
I feel like Adam Cole makes a lot of noise and is probably a squeaky wheel in a more kind way. Like Andrade, I could see probably comes off like a dick, and maybe Tony thinks that, like, maybe that rubs Tony the wrong way, right? I think that's maybe the thing.
I think, but maybe too. I think we might be interested to hear once like some of these contracts come, like these WWE guys, their contracts come expired, or like they finally get their releases that they're after, and you know how like there's always that surge of guys that jump from one to the from WWE to AEW, and they always talk about the same thing, right? I'll be interested to see what the chatter is for those guys coming back the other way, about promises that were made to them that weren't kept, and things like that, because that seems to be a reoccurring theme amongst a lot of these WWE transfers that like didn't get a lot of TV time, like the that we wanted to see, right? Like the Buddy Matthews and Aleister Black and Andrade, and I'll be interested to see what that comeback around story is.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I'm interested in that too. I think we're still a year or so out from getting the goods, right? I think we're still about a year out from getting the goods, and I think we'll get it probably first from, we got a taste of it from like Bobby Fish, but I feel like that was just like, and that was like Bobby Fish was there for just a hot minute, so it's like it's not.
That's sour grapes to me.
Yeah, and I think that is. Yeah, a little bit sour grapes. I was going to say that too. But I think that if and potentially when that story is corroborated over and over and over and over, and depending on how long AEW lasts, I mean, AEW may fold in a year or so. Who knows? Maybe they'll lose their TV deal. There's a potential there. With all the shakeup at Warner Media, there's a potential there.
Right. But I'll continue to say the same thing that I've continued to say over and over and over and over again. The network will give up on AEW before Tony Khan does.
Sure, absolutely. No, absolutely. And I think that's more of a threat, truthfully, the network versus anything else. Now, whether or not another
they're talking about giving Ring of Honor a TV deal right now, bro. Like, so that relationship can't be that rocky.
No, well, it's not until it just isn't, until they're just like, we're done, and then they cut all the ties. I don't know, how deep that shit rolls. Here might be the Good Brothers. Apparently, the Good Brothers signed today. We might be seeing some Good Brothers.
Yeah, there's we'll get into WWE and the
I've raw on, but anyway,
and the perceived roster bloat that folks are starting to talk about. But we'll get into that in a couple of minutes.
Well, that'll get sorted too.
We'll get into that in a couple of minutes. Please continue.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about Andrade's position, and
we had
a sidebar.
I think that we're, like I said, I think we're a couple years out, really, from hearing the highs and lows and all that jazz. But I think that as far as Andrade is concerned, he's going to end up somewhere, whether he goes back to Mexico.
Derek, turn your fucking TV down.
Whether Triple H brings him in, which I think is actually probably more probable. I think the thought is that he wants to come back and work with Charlotte in some respect, or at least work in WWE and just keep the family together, right? Like, so they can have the same travel schedule. And maybe that's part of why we haven't seen Charlotte for a while.
Maybe.
So I don't know.
Or maybe they're just putting a fresh paint of coat on the women's division, bro. Because like Becky's not back yet either. So like maybe, just maybe, they're trying to give us a new look in the women's division without the maximum overbearing, overshadowing star power of Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Also, you got to remember Sasha Banks is away as well.
Well, Sasha quit.
Well, did she? Because, I mean, it continues to be a topic of conversation that she is still very, very much on the WWE payroll, despite the rumors that we heard that she had been released under the Vince McMahon regime.
Yeah, that's good, brother.
Maybe this is going to be the new strategy. Maybe we strategically release, put people in pissed off storylines, let them go home with their ball for a minute.
Can they do that with Ronda Rousey, please?
Oh my God,
that'd be fine.
Can we talk about that?
But Yeah, maybe eventually I'm going to eat my words on this whole Sasha Banks thing that she took her ball and went home, and maybe this is all just planned this way so that we can reinvigorate our roster whenever we feel like it and bring in new stars, even though it's the same old
that are
stars
already established.
Exactly. I mean,
Similar-
look at what we had at Extreme Rules.
Similar to the feature, Bray Wyatt has made his long-awaited and anticipated return at Extreme Rules. Sir,
here.
How many returns has Bray Wyatt had?
3.
That's a lot of returns for one guy who's
Yeah, well, how many returns has Charlotte Flair had?
I don't know how many times have her tits busted.
twice. So 2?
No. How many returns has Sasha Banks had?
Okay, fair. I'm just saying.
How many
Fair.
returns has Triple H had?
Not a lot. He's kind of a
How many
stalwart.
returns has The Rock had?
He
How many
doesn't count.
returns has Stone Cold Steve Austin
The
had?
Rock's 50 years old. Stone Cold has had 1.
Plenty.
Okay,
Plenty.
I'm just saying.
Every
I'm
time
just
that
saying.
guy pops up on TV, that's considered a return
Yeah, fair
because
enough.
he pops in once every couple of years.
It's just, it seems to me to be, for a guy who, like, that's his thing. I don't know. Anyway, no, it was a great return, though.
Absolutely.
That was
Did you
fantastic.
see? Did you happen to notice Triple H pulling the old NXT Takeover watermark?
Yes.
Early out
yes,
trick?
I did. Yeah, because I saw the early out.
That did not go unnoticed across the internet either. I saw
So-
that pop up because I was watching it post, right? And I already knew that it happened. When I saw that pop up, and I went, "That sneaky son of a bitch."
Uh-huh.
Wait, so explain this to me then?
So, go ahead. You want me to
I'm
do it
sorry.
or you do it?
So at NXT, when Triple H was running the product at Takeover, anytime he had a big surprise that was planned post show, he would post up the little NXT logo, copyright 2022.
Oh, yeah.
You know, right?
Mhm.
You know, the watermark. And that's how
Yeah.
you know it's the end of the show or the end of the hour on Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did that as they were they did the beauty shot of Riddle and DC at the top of the ramp, and then the lights went out.
Yeah.
So they teased the end of the show, and then you've got Michael Cole that says, "Corey, are we still on? Are we still rolling?" Right. So like that was a good setup, and Triple H has used that move in the past, and
Gargano and
used it
Ciampa.
very effectively.
Yeah.
On Saturday night.
When Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano, he used that particularly at that point.
Yes.
So it's very much a callback to that. When Ciampa turned on Gargano, and so it's very much a callback to that, and I like that. I really do. It's like that. It's like the Marvel post credits scene.
Yes.
Right. It's the like you just sit through the credits because the lights haven't come back on yet. You just sit through the credits so that you can see whatever post scene, whatever next teaser of the next movie in the quadrilogy or the
Most of the time with the Marvel movies, it doesn't even fucking make sense.
Lately, that's been the same. Yes, lately it's been it doesn't make sense. Initially, it had some legs on it, but lately, no, you're right. But anyway, no, it was used very, very effectively. And Bray's coming. Oh my God, that whole thing. Like, did anybody have a problem with that? Because I didn't have a problem with that.
I didn't have a problem with it at all. And as a matter of fact, I like the fact that at first I was like, what is the whole deal with like?
I was sort of disappointed
disappointed
going into it because I was like, God, we got this whole fucking pay-per-view and no Bray Wyatt. No, man. What a tease. What a cock tease.
Again, so I knew the lights went out. End. I knew it was at the end, but I still got that little cock tease, right? Because nowhere in my mind did I think that Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins was the main event of that pay-per-view, right?
Well, ultimately, so here's my thought on that before we go any further. Ultimately, I didn't think going into it that it should have been either, but then I realized that logistically they had to kind of pull the ring apart,
right,
to put all that down. And understanding now, like 2 days later, that they also like they were back and forth. It was like, is it Bayley and Bianca, or is it this one? And I think they just went with it with logistics. They're like, we got to kind of pull the ring apart.
Right.
Let's not pull the ring apart and put it back together. Let's just do this as the main event, because Daniel Cormier is part of it, and that's a big deal.
Yeah. I thought he made the Jeff Jarrett approach on him refereeing that match.
I thought he was too much into it, and I thought he couldn't count. I thought his counts
he fucked that up at the end. That was big time. That was a big time problem. And kudos to Michael Cole and Corey Graves for pointing that out, a la Jim Ross, when AEW's referees were in the fucking shitter at the beginning of the thing. And JR knew that his credibility meant more than the lack of credibility of the officiating in the ring. And big shout out to fucking Graves and Michael Cole for calling that out.
I thought it was a little too. I thought his counts were bad, and I kind of thought that the whole match, and it really that match, it wasn't Seth and Riddle that threw me off, because I didn't.
DC looking thick, boy. Yeah, I mean he's notorious for loving that fucking fried chicken. He talked about it all the time whenever he'd be doing his weight cuts in the UFC. But damn, bud, the commentary desk fucking served you right. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but I'm just saying, man, that motherfucker used to fight at 205 pounds. Just diesel motherfucker can't even bend over, wipe his own ass.
He's looking at 305 right now. Good God. He was a round mound of man,
living his fucking best life.
Yeah, live your best life. Fuck it. I'm not one to talk. I love food. I'm Thomas the Pig Boy.
I'm
today.
fat because pizza and wings are a thing.
Oh my God, wings are so good. But anyway, so I didn't think that was necessarily the main event. I didn't think that DC did a particularly good job, but him being there is a spectacle, right? So that was that.
That's a big time name. And that's another fucking just like Triple H jab to Tony Khan, right? Because if you remember, you circle back when WWE first started doing Saturday night pay-per-views, and Tony Khan was like, "Oh, they're taking SummerSlam up against the fucking UFC. Dana White's gonna murder them." Blah 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 blah. So then WWE does their show, and then Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H and Pat McAfee go to the UFC main event and get featured on camera. And they're just like, "Fuck you, Tony." And then like 3 months later, one of the greatest UFC champions of all time is in their main event. And that's just another fuck you, Tony.
I mean, it's so the thing that I like the most about that, not to switch subjects, but I feel like it's sort of just a continuation, is that when that happens, like that's almost a like, yes, it is a fuck you, Tony, to that. But at the same time, it's so much like we just don't even care, right? Like Tony will reschedule things and like schedule things around. He got so upset.
All I know is last year on Labor Day, I was the only wrestling show all weekend, and now this year I'm the third wrestling show, and it's just not. It's not fair.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
and
that sounds right.
And it's almost like Tony also did that interview where like he was like, well, this is why I take shots at WWE, and like explained that like he's the undercard, he's the underdog, and that's why he has to take shots.
He got that bad advice from somebody. I don't remember who it was, but he was proud to talk about it. He quoted it and everything.
Yeah, but it was
that might work in like Apple versus Microsoft, right? Pepsi versus Coke, but that doesn't that shit doesn't work in professional wrestling, pal.
Well, nor does it work when like in theory you're not a competitor, you're just like an extra and this is where the people that like pro wrestling, right? Like we'll watch pro wrestling. We love it. It's great. It's awesome. I have it on right now. It's awesome. It's so I'm just saying pro wrestling is awesome. It's so fun. But like you don't see sitcoms like fucking being like, oh my God, because Modern Family or because The Office did so good, like, oh, Parks and Rec coming on after The Office, like, I'm so mad. Like the Parks and Rec teams are like, we're so mad that we're also on the same day as The Office. Like, what the fuck? What kind of stupid shithead logic is that? Like, if people like the product, they're gonna watch it, especially if it's not on at the exact same time, which none of it was. There was a Wednesday night war for a hot minute, and we all flipped back and forth. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Hey,
just
can I interrupt you?
put on a good program. Yes, I'm done. You don't have to interrupt. It's your floor.
So SRS just fucking sent out a tweet.
Oh.
Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows are back in WWE.
They are. They came out. I saw them.
Yeah,
They did
yeah.
the whole sweet.
Which is why this is relevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carl Anderson is the current never openweight champion in New Japan Wrestling.
Really?
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Plot twist.
Well, he's just
Could
going
you
to drop
imagine
that.
if WWE does Forbidden Door, but they do it better than Tony Khan did?
Oh God.
The way Tony Khan did, I mean, that's not a high bar.
You think Tony Khan cried about being the third pay-per-view show on fucking Labor Day weekend? If Triple H fucking pulls off a Forbidden Door pay-per-view with New
Let's
Japan
point out-
and does it better,
So let's point out that build to Forbidden Door dropped AEW's ratings to 700,000.
they still
People
not
were
recovered.
people were so. No, I mean they've been back over 1 million, but people
Yeah,
were
thanks to. Let's go. Here you go. Ready to wrap your head around this?
Yes.
Thank you to Billy fucking Gunn.
Scissor me, daddy ass.
And he's about to be on WWE television tonight.
Is he coming out with the DX stuff? I thought he wasn't coming.
No way.
Is he coming to DX?
No, he's
Well, now
not,
I'm
but he's
glad I
gonna
have this on.
I'm sure he's gonna get lots of shout outs, and I'm sure he's gonna get a Scissor Me Daddy chant at the arena, because wrestling fans understand.
We
And
know.
Triple H understands.
We know.
Just saying.
Scissor me, daddy
Seems
ass.
pretty strategic to me that once Billy Gunn is one of the most over things on the competitor's fucking show, that they want to do a DX tribute, knowing that he won't be able to be there.
I didn't think about that, but that's very actually. Now that you even say that, Road Dogg said something about that this week on Twitter. Now that I say that, because he just said something to the level of like, "Yeah, I'm sad Billy's not going to be there, and obviously can't be for, contract reasons and whatever."
But he's one of the most over things in AEW right now.
Oh my god! Because everybody loves the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are the most organically over thing in AEW are the Acclaimed.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
It's not even
and MJF's babyface run.
That was
such a
all
baby
of
face.
3 seconds long.
And no,
Hey,
it's still
bud.
going. Bro.
Hey, bud, it's definitely still. It's gonna
It's
go
still
until he
going.
wins the championship, and he's gonna try so hard to make the crowds hate him because he's a professional. But the fans are so happy he's back, and the fans are so happy he's in the position that he's in to win the AEW championship. He is just by proxy the biggest babyface in AEW right now, and
It's like
that is
it's
a
like when
nightmare.
Stone Cold. It's like when Stone Cold was stunning the boss. It's that level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. Except he's leaning into the heel, and it's just not working. Stone Cold was just Stone Cold.
Well, and it's also I mean, honestly, the last couple MJF segments were just not great. Yeah, honestly, he's only going to get the people that like Wheeler. He's only going to get Wheeler Yuta boos. That's all. He's not going to get Wheeler Yuta over. He's going to get Wheeler Yuta booed out of the building.
I'm willing to bet.
Although he beat him,
I'm willing to bet he gets Jon Moxley booed out of the building too.
that's a tall order, but there's some potential there because
I'm willing to bet that it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a tall order, but that's I'm not. I wouldn't bet against that.
I really don't see that happening.
I was more likely to bet against Derek not showing up tonight than I am against MJF getting Derek or than MJF getting John Moxley like booed out of the building. But I do think that could happen. There's potential.
It could absolutely happen. So, Extreme Rules overall was a really, really good show, and we're going to circle back. We'll close out with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt Six, and then we'll hit Match of the Week. But I want to go ahead and do a quick little rundown on fucking the Extreme Rules card, which I thought was a decent little show. We got a lot of storyline advancement, and the in-ring action was pretty fucking good.
Well, most of it.
I mean, it was all quote unquote Extreme Rules. But
Liv versus Ronda 3 was terrible. I mean, it was you want to talk, it was botchamania.
Well, I said it the first time the first two times these guys got in the ring together, and
it's Ronda. Again. It's all Ronda.
It's
Liv can't. Well, Liv can't really carry the match, but Ronda's not good, and she's worse than she was for her first run.
Very rarely do I agree with Jim Cornette, but I think in the past 2 weeks he was quoted as saying she's not enjoying what she's doing, and she's simply just trying to finish out her contract like a professional. And I firmly am starting to see that and believe
it's
that.
Bad. It's very bad. But they put a title. I mean, she won. Like, they put a title on her. Like, you could have put anybody else in that match, and it would have been a better. You could have put.
A lot of people said that them putting the title on her was Vince McMahon-esque booking.
It absolutely was. I mean, there's nothing. I gotta let Penny out, but I have no.
Penny.
Yeah. Penny. All right, Penny's gone. Okay. I think she had to pee. Penny gets all pacey, and she's like, "I gotta get out. I gotta go." She's old. She's 12.
She mostly just chills in the corner over there.
Mostly, but like she's old. But I love her. Anyway, so that was absolutely Vince McMahon booking, but that was like, to me, that like stood out as the sore thumb of the night, because like everything else was fucking awesome, but like that stood out as like, ow, wow, there was like a weird backstabber like thing that like Liv had to go for twice. That just, it looked bad both times, and it looked like it was Ronda's fault both times, and it was like, what is going on here? Like, can we just cooperate? It looked uncooperative, is what it looked like.
Because they're terrible.
I mean, Ronda's especially
them.
Look, Ronda's especially terrible. Liv is passable. It's not
acceptable.
Sure.
Especially when you're holding a championship.
Championship. That was a not Triple H doing, but I understand why he would put it on Ronda, but Ronda's got.
But he had a chance to take it off of her.
God, why didn't he put it on
month
Shayna?
Ago?
No, yeah, why
Shayna,
didn't?
And he didn't.
Like we talked about this,
and I don't think we've seen her on TV since.
We haven't, and maybe that's why we haven't, because maybe Shayna like had time off coming up, and she was like, "Yeah, build me up," and like, I'll do the deed, and then like I need to go home, and like, I got this ankle thing, or I got this neck thing, because Shayna's 40, like Shayna's older than we are, and it's not. I don't know. It's really fucking frustrating. It's really frustrating.
Bro, I'm just saying, it seems awfully fucking out of place that like somebody that has worked their entire career to get put into the spot that she was in going into the match against the quintessential women's babyface, how you could just be like, I had a vacation planned. Like,
I don't disagree with you. I really don't disagree with you.
I mean, I'll take my vacation and then we'll talk when I come back. I mean, maybe too, we could get Ronda versus Shayna, which would be fun.
It would have been a better match than this.
So maybe we can get that now. Maybe coming out of that vacation, we get that now. But I just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
No, it doesn't. And this match may have been the worst of the three. And,
I'd have rather them kept the belt on Liv and just let her fucking keep going on so I could keep talking shit about that. Instead, on Friday, they're going to trot Ronda out on the opening segment of fucking SmackDown.
Give her a microphone by herself.
And give her a microphone on the season premiere, and it's going to fucking be all over Botchamania in 3 days.
Yeah, maybe come. I got a soccer game on Friday. I'll come in late. So that's good. Oh, everybody's dead and Bayley's out here. Okay, good. Oh God, the Miz is gonna get killed. Yeah, no, I agree. It's wholeheartedly. What's the next segment?
Well, the next segment is talking about Bray Wyatt. So we touched on his return, but I thought it was very well executed. However, there's a couple interesting things that are going to come with this new iteration of Bray Wyatt. And that's apparently the new faction that is the Wyatt Six. So, did anybody catch the Brody Lee tribute?
I did, with the door and the blue light.
Nope.
This is
Abby the Witch was actually wearing Luke Harper's Bludgeon Brothers mask.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah, actually, I did catch that too. I saw that
pretty
online.
Dope. Pretty dope. Anywho, there's been a lot of speculation online of who the characters are. So an interesting little tidbit of information that popped up was after Extreme Rules went off the air, there were 4 superstars that changed their Twitter bio pics to black circles.
Mm-hmm.
There was another that immediately took to a live stream to cut a promo that was spotted with a Wyatt head lantern in the background. And now the internet is brewing.
So I saw a lot of this. Some of it I think is a swerve. I don't think that Seth Rollins is about to join the Wyatt family.
I would agree with that statement.
Liv might.
I would also agree with that statement.
Grayson Waller almost assuredly is the Buzzard.
I would agree with that statement as well.
That's all I've got. I don't. Otherwise, I'm not sure.
So Tommaso Ciampa was also one of the ones that switched his profile picture to black, as was T-Bar from the defunct Retribution, and
so
we've not seen him since.
Those two make sense too. Those would make sense. I don't think the throw off. I think is Seth Rollins.
And then today, breaking news rumor. I've not seen a confirmation on this. Eric Rowan has re-signed with WWE.
I haven't seen a
nice.
That would be cool. I do like Rowan. I think that he's. I think he's particularly good. I think that his not unsigning was sort of. He's the last not re-signed guy that I feel like was because he's actually a really good big man. Like he's a really good big man.
He said he never signed with AEW because he didn't want to tarnish the legacy that Brody Lee had left there.
I mean, and that's fair. Look, he's obviously a guy who he's a hardcore metal fan. He is a guy who every time I hear him speak about his feelings and the way he feels about things and the way that just his own sort of internal feels, I respect and I respect him as a human. I liked. Other than calling the Bludgeon Brothers the Bludgeon Brothers, I really liked everything Eric Rowan did in WWE.
Them motherfuckers were dominant.
They were dominant and they were super over. I didn't like them being called the Bludgeon Brothers.
Their only loss was to the Usos, which should just tell the story.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and they were dominant, and their matches were good, and they looked scary, and they were scary dudes. Luke Harper, Brody Lee was just scary. It was gold, and like Vince just didn't see it. It was like he had blinders onto it. But both of them, I feel like Rowan sort of was in the same boat as just like
shocking.
Like, a guy that is gold. His run with Daniel Bryan is, I mean, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and then Vince said, then after that fucking monumental, just fantastic run, Vince goes,
I mean, that was so good.
Hey, pal, here's a cage. Walk to the ring with it. That good shit.
I mean, it was that's the thing, is that like, and even that, like, he fucking killed that until they like revealed that it was like a big furry spider. Like that's not his fault, right?
No,
like
never to be
that's
seen
not
again.
his, like, and that was it, never to be seen again. But that's not his fault. That was like he killed that. Like they gave him that, and he killed it, and they were like, here's a stuffed animal, and he was just like, all right, I'll try to get over it. He fell on a sword, right? He was like, I'll try to get it over.
Yeah.
And he tried. Look, nobody could have done better. Nobody could have done better.
Agree.
But that's it. It didn't get over. Like, no shit. You couldn't get a stuffed animal over? Like, no shit.
So overall, the Bray Wyatt return was very much revered in the internet wrestling community.
We loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
However, one person decided to just take a shit all over it.
Somebody did.
Yeah, somebody did.
No.
Somebody was Jim Cornette.
Oh no, I didn't.
I've heard that he's
didn't
the
listen on
second best
purpose.
manager in the history of wrestling.
He still is. Hold on. Okay.
Oh, did you have to take your headphones off because you didn't?
Yeah, they're dying actually.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
dying.
I just thought you didn't want to listen to me trash your boy.
No, they're dying. So, you're coming out of speakers now. Can I don't have an echo, do I?
So, no, you're good to go, bud.
No, you're fantastic.
There's this little setting that I click that's called echo cancellation.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
You need one for like TV cancellation.
Well, I've also got
if it sounds like a really football game on in the background, just cancel that shit out.
I've also got like a really nice microphone, so it should do the same thing.
So Cornette said that this was an abomination, and that
he's the only one.
And that the fat boy Bray Wyatt,
I mean, he is a fat boy, but still
should have stayed home, and that nobody gives a fuck that he's back.
No, that's not true either.
And that he doesn't understand why that this was a thing. Motherfucker.
I mean, I feel like I disagree with Jim Cornette pretty often. Not terribly often, because I do respect the man's opinion, but I think he's wrong in this part. Like, well, I don't care. I don't understand why people care. Like, because this is it's cool. Like, everything he does is like weird and creepy. And when like weird and creepy things happen it's fun, right? Like, there's a high probability this will get ruined down the line, right? Like that's kind of been the MO. It'll probably get ruined.
But that was with Vince McMahon in charge.
Yeah,
sure, maybe this will be the best. Look, until it's been proven that this is the best thing ever. Like, we just have to like sort of expect like what's happened in the past is going to continue to happen in the future. Now, maybe this will be the best thing ever. I hope it. Look, I'm pumped. I'm here for it. I hope it's the best thing ever. I'm excited. I really am. I hope it's the best thing ever. But if it's not,
you gotta believe.
You gotta believe he's coming back. But if it's not the best thing ever,
he's probably Hodgkiss the pig.
He might be.
Just fucking.
But like, if it's not the best thing ever, is it not just like, well, it's another day Bray Wyatt thing. Bray Wyatt will go away and he'll come back with something else, and it'll be neat for a minute.
I mean, yeah. As soon as shit went black, all the cell phones It was like they already had their flashlights on. It was crazy
They
how
were ready.
fast that all happened.
They were ready. It was like,
People,
boom.
it's so fucking over. If Cornette can't see that, his Twitter handlers that I'm sure do all the posting for him need to inform him of current trends in the wrestling world, because this shit is over,
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, I think what was really nice was that the former NXT or the former Tough Enough winner, he immediately upon his coming back, and all of that was trending and everything, he posted, "Hey, because it's her wife was, or her husband was Wesley Blake, or is Wesley Blake, former of WWE." And it wasn't like, oh, thanks for everybody having me come back or some kind of creepy shit. It was like, hey, he would do this for you, and like he just shared the like GoFundMe for her. So that was nice, and I think that his comeback, it was really good. I hope that the momentum continues. I hope it doesn't turn out to suck.
I can't wait to see who these cats are.
It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see if he even gets a faction, right? Like maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
I mean,
I bet he does.
Probably, but I'm you're right. I'm interested to see who they are, but
I'm interested to see this iteration of Bray Wyatt. Anyways, Tom, so I found a small snippet from this, and I want to give you a little bit more context. Your boy said, and you're going to agree with this comment 110% because you've said this on this show. He said that 300-pound dope is the definition of, and then the bell rang.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow because, yeah, there's a lot of hype and a lot of pomp and circumstance going up to it, but then like we kind of get a bunch of shitty matches, and it goes away.
Lean and Mean Bray can go, bro.
But he's not looking lean and mean. And he only gets older.
Thick boy.
Yeah, we don't get. He's looking more like Huskus the Pig Boy than he is like a lean, mean Bray Wyatt. Honestly, the only recent Bray Wyatt thing that I've enjoyed was his little run with Matt Hardy with the white pants, and it was wonderful. But
yeah, you guys really hated the Alexa Bliss gimmick.
I mean, it was
deal there.
It was good until it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was magic.
They got too magic real fast, like, and it was just like, oh, this could be cool, and then it was like super magic, and it was like, well, this is shit. And I'm worried. Like, it's hard to not be worried. Like, I want to be excited for him to be back because this had so much like build, and it was so good. And the build was good, and the writing was good, and everything was good. And then he came back, and at the end, and that was good, and it felt good, and it was fun to watch. And like, oh, I was there going, oh. But at the same time, like, once you sleep it off, and you like wake up, and you're like, is this gonna turn into like some disappointing bullshit again? And that's the point. That's the problem, right? Is like people can like wow you, but then they can also like be disappointing losers after the fact. And that's been the story of Bray Wyatt, is that like we've been like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome, and then you go like, wow, this is fucking disappointing as hell. Like, these matches were shit, like this story turned to shit, this gimmick turned to shit. I don't know. I'm concerned that Randy Orton.
Then you get Kentucky Fried Fiend.
Right? Yeah. Like is Randy Orton not just gonna light him on fire again?
I don't know. I'd be curious
for the third time. Will Randy Orton burn everything down the third time? It's weird that Randy Orton's been the one to burn everything down, including the Fiend. Randy Orton set the Fiend on fire.
He did.
Yeah, bro. We were there.
Yeah. And then like
I had a Thunderdome seat that night.
I'm just saying, it's like oh, here comes DX. Oh my God, Road Dogg looks so old. Who is that? Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Derek, what were you saying?
About Bray Wyatt not getting over and his matches suck and all this stuff. I I'd be curious to see how much of this is Vince. I really don't think we're out of the Vince era yet. I think that we've seen
word
that
on the
with
street
Ronda
is that this
Rousey.
Bray Wyatt, this Bray Wyatt return started before Vince retired.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Is I don't think that we've seen the last of whatever hangers on, I guess you could say, of ideas that Vince would have implemented before he was leaving, and we kind of got to see where this all shakes out. Honestly, WWE is my best shot at this point for happiness. Tony Khan's really dropping the ball, so I got to start. Sucking up to the WWE monument again.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah. You know what's funny is Impact Wrestling is just chilling over here, making absolutely no noise. Just hear me out for a second. They're making no noise, making no bad press, just doing their own thing, putting on solid.
They really are not making bad press.
Yeah.
Although they did let the Good Brothers go, and they did show up tonight. So
yeah. You know who's not going anywhere anytime soon?
What's that?
John Moxley just signed a 5-year AEW contract extension
where
he's going to be a coach and producer.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, somebody needs to be. Somebody needs to be. Somebody needs to be actually be tougher than CM Punk and be able to beat the shit out of him.
The Young Bucks.
I mean, the Young Bucks.
Larry the dog.
Larry the dog. Look, Larry the dog is a saint. Kenny saved him. This is why they're all coming back. But anyway,
gotta get Larry.
Oh my God! Twinkle Toes McFingerbang. I don't know. I mean, I like Mox, and I like that he's been being a top guy. I also like that he's
always been a top guy, pal.
I like that he's been giving shit to the locker room via like his promos.
He lost the GCW World Championship this.
He gave it up because Tony Khan sort of was like, "You're just not going to be on those shows anymore. Here's money."
Yeah, he's exclusive to AEW now, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's a pretty exclusive deal.
Which all of us saw that coming, if we're being honest with ourselves.
I mean, it should have been the way.
Career match. Yeah.
It should have been the way. Like, why was that even? Who set that up and was like, "This is a fun idea"? And I was like, "Yeah, this
the
is
Young Bucks, Kenny Omega."
Okay, well, anybody who was in the camp that set that up with GCW was stupid, and it was a dumb idea. Oh, good, Omos is beating jobbers. This guy's literally got fucking plaid tights on.
Worst segment on television. Thank you.
What, Omos beating up jobbers? Yeah, it's
worst segment on television. Thank you.
I like how we go from honestly one of the better pay-per-views in my mind in recent years or recent months to this as our first Raw since the pay-per-view.
This is a nice piss break. This is go to the bathroom, guys. Nobody gives a shit about this guy.
Yeah. Honestly, I would give Extreme Rules maybe a B plus, maybe even an A-. I don't even know if I've used an A ever on this show, but
I thought it was really good.
It.
Other than the Liv Ronda match, I thought it was really good.
Yeah. I mean, whenever it was over, I was like,
B-
that's it.
Or B+.
It didn't seem too long. Yeah. It didn't seem, to
overstay
its welcome at all.
I'd give it a B plus. It was really the only match that I thought was just horrendous was Liv and Ronda. I thought it was
because it was.
They both looked like they didn't know what was going on. Like nobody walked them. Like it seemed like this should have been a match that neither of them are experienced enough to call in the ring, and
because they're terrible.
They tried to call it in the ring, and it just was. It was botch after botch after botch. Yep. Ronda won. Hopefully now that means she's going to fight better competitors, and everybody but Liv is a better competitor, so she has to.
Yeah, but she brings everybody down a peg.
She certainly does. I'm just saying there'll be better matches than this one.
Hopefully,
right?
Because what do you always say? If you go everywhere you go smells like shit, you should probably check your shoe.
Yeah. No. Ronda's shoes are like they're made of shit.
They're made of shit.
Just making sure here.
Yeah, no. We're on the same page, buddy. I promise you.
All right. Well, interested to see where the wrestling landscape goes from here.
It's there's some cracks, but I feel like at the same time, like most things are in a good position. So like, I can look at the shitty stuff and be like, that's shitty, but like, maybe they'll make it better. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
No doubt.
Oh, I get to go first.
Match of the week.
I forget. Did we talk? It's been. I feel like we've had so many shows. Did I already get to put over the Io Shirai versus from last Monday? Io Shirai. Okay. So I have two. So Io versus Alexa Bliss was amazing. For a TV show, for a TV match, Monday Night Raw from 7 days ago, from a week ago, like just one of the best matches I've ever seen. Maybe one of the best probably the best women's match of it. It's so good. Io versus Alexa, really for nothing. Like there was nothing on the line, but they just went out and put on a banger, and it was
after
fantastic.
banger.
It was
banger.
Fantastic from bell to bell. And there was a lot of really good wrestling this week to choose from. But that really stuck out. It was so good because they were both so into it, and it was so good. But I really believe my match of the week is Bianca Belaire versus Bayley. That ladder match, like as far as ladder matches are concerned, like you got a little bit of a sense as to why like women don't have a lot of ladder matches, because they can't manipulate the ladders quite the way the men can. But at the same time, like that almost became part of the story of the match. And they really just
kudos to Michael Cole and Corey Graves.
Oh my God. I mean, the whole match was just from start to like, I was on the edge of my seat. Like of all matches, like, I talked about earlier how Rollins versus Riddle shouldn't have been the main event. This should have been the main event because this was by and large the best match on the card. And we had the Brawling Brutes versus the Imperium, and that was a banger. Good God, was that good? But I really felt like this just went further, and it really Bayley and Bianca. Bayley's always been. I mean, obviously, I put Bayley over anytime I can put Bayley over. I love Bayley. Bianca's so good too. Like, and her improvement from like where she was in NXT to where she is now is just like she's gone from like, just being just normal, like kind of heel. Like I have this gimmick with my hair to like literally being one of the best wrestlers, period, ever. Like, I mean, if you put a top 100 wrestlers of the last 10 years together, like you put her on that list, and there's 10,000 wrestlers now. Like she's one of the best, period.
And I think that like I've come in here a lot and just pooped all over her, you know what I mean? And like I'm finally starting to see it for what it is. And
you put her in there, and you put her in there with a ring general like Bayley. I don't think Bayley has a bad match. Right, but I mean, I think Bayley is sort of the women's equivalent to Gunther, right? She is somebody who just can't. It's hard to have a bad match with Bayley. How do you know? Because she can go fast, she can go slow. It can be a ladder match. It can be a submission match, and every time it's going to make sense. It's going to be good, and it's all going to work out. And I feel like commentary also does their thing because like she works with them too, and she has the coup de grace with them as well to kind of be like, fuck you, Michael Cole, like in the middle, but like they're
how off the hook is Unleashed Michael Cole? Like
it's so good. Like we all thought Michael Cole sucked for so long.
Oh, you dirty sons of bitches.
But like, now it's like, oh god, Michael Cole's like
he's allowed to do things now.
He's allowed to say things. He's allowed to be creative.
Like Jake Hager.
He's allowed to be. Jake Hager doesn't say things, but
you didn't hear him shout out Jake Hager on fucking Saturday night.
No, I must have missed that. No,
yeah, he called out Jake Hager. He said during one of the Extreme Rules match, he was like, "Oh, we've had lots of great Extreme Rules match here at fucking blah blah blah," and Jake Hager versus whoever was one of them.
Now that you say that, I do remember him going through a list, and maybe I didn't think about it. That's really interesting. But anyway, no, my match of the week is absolutely Bayley versus Bianca. Yeah, no, I had it. I got tongue tied.
I know.
Bayley versus Bianca. Bayley versus Bianca. It was great. I loved it the whole way. I sat on the edge of my seat, and that it's really what I tuned in for, and it was fantastic. It didn't disappoint at all, and that's where I am.
Cool, great match, by the way.
Derek,
great match. I cannot argue that at all.
Little dick bag.
Well, fellas, I gotta go with my match of the week. I should probably go with I have two, as Tom did.
I have two as well.
Unfortunately, the one there's no known footage for as of this moment that I'm aware of, but
oh boy,
the backstage fight between Andrade and Sammy Guevara was quite the banger from what I hear.
Thank you for going there, ladies and gentlemen. Derek.
Actual match of the week.
He finally contributed to the fucking show. He's been staring at TV all goddamn night.
Oh, fuck, there it is. Oh, no.
This episode. And then now an hour and a half in, I'm going to pop up, of course. But no, anything
is
between...
Is that the Fiend I saw in the reflection?
Yes. We're going to have to copyright this picture back here eventually.
Oh, no, there's Abby the Witch.
Yeah.
Don't ruin
a match
it for
between
me,
Imperium and the Brawling Brutes. I love it. I love watching Sheamus and Gunther go at it.
Absolutely.
It's fucking amazing. Those boys just want to fight, and they want to hit hard, and they're both completely fine with doing so. It's obvious that there's a respect level there, and there's we're good with hitting each other for real. Yes, please. Hit here hard. Yeah.
It was so good. I mean, that's the match that, like, I don't know that I was on the edge of my seat, but like I smiled the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
you were just smiling the whole time.
You ever just watch
that's the extra hot sauce on top of the permane sandwich right there.
Yeah, exactly. You ever just smile like a fucking idiot for like whatever 20 minutes?
Yeah, every time those two are in the fucking ring.
Yeah, I just smile like an idiot. It was tremendous. No, I wholly agree.
And again, commentary doing a great job telling the story about Imperium with this is ridiculous to have to use weapons, and then fucking Gunther using a shillelagh 2 or 3 times, and Michael Cole being like, "Oh, not above using weapons now, are you?"
He did. He definitely called him out on it.
Commentaries.
I mean, it's just it was so good.
Commentary can finally breathe now.
So much
they
good
don't have the crazy owner up their ass the entire show.
We're so much in a feast, like, of good wrestling, right? It's such a feast right now. There's no like famine. It's just like, I'm just gonna turn on wrestling because I'm gonna eat good tonight.
Absolutely.
Now, remember this in 30 years. Whenever we're like, God, I fucking can't wait till Triple H retires. He's got no new ideas.
I don't know about 30, maybe 15 or 20, but anyway, what you got?
Well, boys, there was a lot of great wrestling in the ring this week. However, the match that tickled my fancy this week was for the TNT Championship between Wardlow and Brian Cage.
That was fun too, actually. Really? It's like the bright spot in AEW.
Yeah, man.
You didn't have 2? I think you had 2.
Letting these 2 motherfuckers just go to work. Like, this was a great big boy match. This is 2 weeks in a row that I've picked a great big boy match.
I mean,
It's
I
really
do love
nice to
that
get to see
story.
the powerhouses, the big boys, the hogs,
Oh,
the behemoths get to go out there and fucking throw down in a work rate type match. I thought those two did a really, really nice job working with one another and really kind of putting over that they were both big and strong and allowing each other to shine a little bit to the point where, I mean, Brian Cage took fucking 4 power bombs in a power bomb symphony. I don't necessarily know that there's anything that a big powerhouse can do more to get himself over as a big powerhouse than to power bomb a big powerhouse 4 times.
absolutely. I mean, well, so Kevin Nash did it to the Giant. He got fat though, and
He
like the
did it
last time
once,
no, he did it twice. So
and
the
he
first
almost
time
dropped him on his fucking head.
no. So the first time he did it fine. The second time he did it, he absolutely dropped him on his head.
So,
Dropped him on because he was a big fat bastard. You dropped that fat bastard right on his head. But no, this was good because obviously neither of these guys are big fat bastards. These guys are fucking just great, and no, it was a good match.
yeah. So overall, really, really decent, good, great week in wrestling. No complaints. Had a blasty blast doing the guest spot on the other guy's show. And again, I will link the episode that we did with the Rasslecast Power Hour in the description.
God, it's so fun.
And if you're still here enjoying and hanging out, please hit that like button. We really, really super duper appreciate it. Boys, this is like 2 times in 1 week that like we got to get together. I think we should maybe think about doing that a little more often, huh?
I mean, I look forward to it all the time. So like, if we're just gonna hang out, like let's just fucking hang out.
Yeah.
I like it. Look, hanging out on the internet in post-COVID times is fucking great. It's good. Like I like hanging out in person. I came and saw and saw you on Saturday, and we hung out. I saw you in person.
Yeah, I sent Derek 16 text messages today and didn't get a reply. So that's where we're at with that.
He was very tired. Have you not seen him in person this week? Have you not seen him in person this week?
So,
God.
And then like I had to do the lantern gimmick again, Tom, just so that Derek could be like, "Oh, it was cool."
It's still cool. It was cool twice. They did it again on Raw, and in fact, I think they just replayed the.
Yeah, I actually feel really bad for Bobby Lashley because everybody had to have just had this deflated feeling whenever pitch black and it's Bobby Lashley,
except Seth Rollins is about to walk through that curtain and win the United States Championship. So that's where we're at with
spoilers.
Anyways,
he seriously does that after he just had that.
I'm telling you,
match or whatever you want to call it.
Spoiler alert!
But it's gonna happen.
No way. That would make Bobby Lashley look
like all right.
Shit.
Text me in about 25 minutes, okay?
Spoiler alert!
Bobby is sleep wake.
Brian Alvarez called him
about 25 minutes.
Told him what was going to happen.
I jokingly tell you to text me because I'm still waiting for you to answer the 3 text messages that I sent you. So there's that too.
My phone's
anyways,
somewhere.
check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We really, really super duper appreciate it, except for Derek because he's falling asleep up there. And please make sure that you go and check out our friends over at the Rasslecast Power Hour. They got a fun little show. So with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.